cool when you wear your hat. You're not the only one who owns one like that. Lend me your jacket when it gets cold. You're no gentleman, that trick's well old.
I've always grown up with music in my life, so my family are really into music. Like, they don't play any instruments or anything, but they just love artists, so that's rubbed off on me a lot. And I was into bands like Busted, Avril Lavigne when I was younger, and I was like, I want to be like them. But then I started learning classical guitar, did that for ages, but I was writing songs throughout that whole time, and then just started gigging, and it's sort of gone from there. Started playing guitar when I was 12, my first gig was at 17, and then I'm 22 now, so it's like 10 years. When I first started out, it was just me and a guitar that would sort of start writing a song. So I'd sit in my room, back against the radiator, and just sort of like see what came out. And then as I sort of come into more of a band sound, I've worked with different producers. So my songwriting style has changed. So it used to be just me, just winging it, see what would come out. And now I'm like, right, it'd be so cool if the song sort of went like double time here, things like that. So it's been really cool to work with new people. One of the first people I ever worked with was a guy called Dan Brown, and he's based in Bristol, and he's just a good friend of mine now, so he's worked with Massive Attack and things like that. And yeah, he really brought out like a more experimental side to me, which has been amazing. So he sort of lets me get on with it, but then I could be like, oh, what about this bit here? And he'd be like, yes, let's try it. And I love things like that. And I've worked with people like Dan Carey, he's done Sia, Nick Mulvey, Miles Kane, which is just like, it blew my mind, all of his equipment and pedals and stuff. So I love experimenting with sounds and how people sort of brought that into my life. It's been really cool. Yeah, I'd had a session once with Dan in Bristol, and he had this old like delay box that was like broken. He was like, oh, I've got a really cool idea for a sound. Like, you just sort of twirl this button and this one, and it will like feed back on itself. And the sound it made literally like makes my belly flip now. It's so good. We tried to put on like every song, but it was a bit too much in the end. But that was just so fun. Like, just this broken machine that made this really cool like sound, like a pigeon, but it sounded cool in the song. When I first started writing songs, I would just like sort of record it on my iPhone. I know that sounds really crap, but I just do it on my phone, sort of overlay it, me singing live and what I've put on the phone sort of thing. And then as I've gone into studios, I've learned a lot from producers and stuff about how to sort of do it on my own. So now I can do basic bedroom demos with just me and a guitar, mic'd up, you know, things like that. So it's nice that I've got that experience to do more elaborate things on my own now and not rely on somebody in the studio. I'm unsigned, self-releasing, so you know, all of it comes from my own pocket, or you know, I've been lucky enough to have been funded before, which has been amazing, but that does get really hard and quite restricting sometimes. So you know, if I had all the money in the world, I know I'd be like, well, I want to work with this person, I want to buy that guitar, this amp and stuff. So that's probably the biggest challenge, but I love being unsigned and doing my own thing and having full control over everything. So I feel really lucky that I'm able to do that, and I've met people in the industry now who will help me. And yeah, my main influences come from more modern stuff like Jamie T, Vampire Weekend, a band called Slow Club, but I love really old analog recordings, and when things like panned like right to the left and drums this side, guitars this side and stuff. So a lot of old music does inspire me in terms of mix and production and how they recorded it and stuff. So yeah, I'll take inspiration from everywhere.